half-hour break, and then start another session from 7 to 9. So that members who are busy in the afternoon sorting out their constituency matters in offices will have an opportunity to then come at 7 and be able to transact business between 7 and 9, while also allowing for the traffic to ease.
All Wednesday sittings will stand suspended beginning next week to allow fumigation of the House. Speaking during the approval of the calendar, Majority Leader Amos Kemunya said the additional sittings are vital for the House to dispense with the backlog of bills. Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
All right now we just want to focus on something that has been shaping debate in the country. We understand that the Salaries and Remuneration Commission approved a 2 million car grant for members of the County Assembly. It is something that has elicited mixed reactions across the board. Our reporter Beatrice Gatonye has been traversing several parts of Nairobi just to get a reaction from Kenyans with regards to this particular directive. Let's just link up with her and listen to what some of the residents of Nairobi have to say moments after this announcement was made. A very good afternoon, Gatonye. What is it that Kenyans are telling you about the 2 million car grant for members of the county assemblies? Beatrice Gatonye, she has been just following up on what Kenyans have to say with regards to this new directive. Members of the County Assembly have been pushing for that car grant for a very long time, and now that move really has elicited quite, opinions from different sectors. We'll be linking up with her just to tell us what residents of Nairobi have to say. But now on to matters politics. Kilifi Governor Amason Kingi has dismissed calls for the Coastal region to form one political party to drive the political agenda of residents in the coastal region. Kingi instead revealed plans that are underway to consolidate all political parties in the region to form a coalition that can speak in one voice. Speaking during the launch of the construction of a 60 million shillings road project in Mariakani in Kaloleni constituency, Kilifi Governor Amason Kingi said that plans are underway to consolidate all the existing political parties within the region to form a coalition that can drive the political agenda of the coastal region, as well as give the residents a bargaining power in the national politics.
Vyama vya pwani viko tayari hapa pwani. Kuna kadu asili, tuna shirikisho, tuna Republican Congress na kuna Umoja Summit. Vyote ni vyama vya kitaifa venye vitovu vao hapa pwani. Ikiwa tayari tumegawanyika mara 4, nikiongeza cha 5, tutakuwa naleta umoja ama tutakuwa nagawanya zaidi. Na safari tumeanza kuleta hivi vyama 4 pamoja. Na hivi karibuni tutapata mwavuli ambao sasa utakuwa mwavuli wa kustiri mpwani na Wakenya wenye fikra sawa na mpwani. Kwa hivyo ikiwa mnataka kwenda direct, watu wanaita direct injection, ikiwa mnataka tuikalie ile meza, ili Western inazungumza, Central inazungumza, Nyanza inazungumza, pwani nayo izungumze na mpwani.
The governor also used the opportunity to drum up support for the Building Bridges initiative, which he says carries the promise to strengthen devolution through increased revenue allocation. This even as county assemblies continue with their debate on the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill of 2020. Murang'a County Assembly Speaker Eric Kimani has said that the County Assembly has tasked a committee to lead a public participation exercise which will inform the decision by the MCAs on whether to pass or reject the bill.
Today we tabled a paper, that is that motion or a bill from IBC, where after it was committed to a committee on governance and labor. When the committee will sit after the public participation, then they'll compile a report report will come back to the Assembly. It will be tabled on the floor of the House, and it will be passed or defeated on the floor of the House.
He has urged the members of the public to engage in a peaceful and constructive dialogue over the contents of the bill. Kisumu and Siaya counties are the only counties that have passed the Building Bridges Initiative Constitution Amendment Bill of 2020. Now let's cross over to our reporter Beatrice Gatonye to get a clear picture on what Kenyans have to say with regards to the move by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission that actually announced that the members of the County Assembly are going to be receiving a 2 million car grant. Let's just link up with her and get to hear, what Kenyans have to say. It is a move that has elicited quite mixed reactions across the country, and I know it's going to be developing in the next few days. This coming at a time when the County Assembly is also discussing the Building Bridges Initiative bill that will inform the road to the country's direction to change the constitution. Now let's just link up with Gatonye just to give us an update on what Kenyans have to say.
Thank you very much. I'm coming to you live from Nairobi CBD here to seek Kenyans' opinions concerning the issue of car grants to the MCAs and speakers awarded by Salaries and Remuneration Commission yesterday. Actually, SRC awarded or approved 4.5 billion shillings car grants to the MCAs and speakers, and apart from that, also directed the counties to administratively convert car loans into grants for the MCAs and the speakers. Also to note is the fact that the current MCAs and speakers will be the ones to benefit from these car grants awarded yesterday by SRC, 4.5 billion shillings going to that. And here joining me are Kenyans who will give us a few views and opinions that they have concerning these. Karibia hapa. Maoni yako ni yapi kuhusiana na SRC jana waliweza kutoa pesa za kuwapatia MCAs kwa sababu ya car grants. Maoni yako wewe kama Mkenya ni yapi?
Kenya tuko na shida nyingi saa hizi kwa sababu ya magonjwa ya COVID-19 ambayo ilikuja ka affect uchumi. Ninaona ingekuwa vizuri watu kuanza kupewa pesa, kupewa magari na vitu vingine, na kuna hali ya uchumi ni mbaya, bei ya vitu imepanda juu, watu wanahangaika, watu walipoteza kazi, uchumi uko vibaya. Wangetumia hizo pesa angalau kuinua uchumi na kupatia watu mwelekeo wa kimaisha, angalau watu waweze kujimudu kimaisha, sababu watu wengi saa hizi wanaumia. Sio vizuri.
Hivi wewe ni kama MCA wako akiendesha gari itakuwa sawa?
Hata wasipopewa hizo, wako na magari ambazo huwa tunawaona nazo, wako na magari wanaendelea vizuri. Isipokuwa kwa upande mwingine, mimi naona hata wasipopewa magari, hizo pesa hatutaziona kwa sababu Kenya ufisadi umekuwa mwingi, pesa zinatumiwa vibaya, watu wanaiba. Hata afadhali wapewe tu kwa sababu hata wasipowapa bado hatutaziona na hazitatusaidia.
Asante sana. Also is a lady.
All right, that is Beatrice Gatonye Teach there talking to Kenyans with regards to this particular directive by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. We apologize for that slight sound hitch we are facing there, but once we get that sorted, we'll be crossing over back to her. But now let me take you to Nyandarua County. A motion to impeach Nyandarua County Assembly Speaker Ndegwa Wahome has kicked off this morning in the County Assembly. His fate now lies in the hands of the MCAs who accuse him of, among others, corruption and unethical practices. Attempts by the Speaker to block the tabling of the impeachment motion on Tuesday evening flopped. The impeachment motion against the Speaker kicked off this morning after a notice of motion was filed on Tuesday evening at the County Assembly amid controversy. The MCAs had demanded Wahome recuse himself from the seat before the notice of motion to impeach him was tabled. Attempts by Wahome to stop the tabling of the motion were futile, and the motion was received by his deputy, Zachary Njeru.
And I cannot admire myself. on issues that touch on me. I have written to the House Business Committee and told them categorically, I will deal with the other business of a speaker, and I think the court order is very clear. When it comes to that notice, I will actually be jogging getting out of the chamber.
Serfine voluminous document, and I direct that the clerkship should do make copies, whether the hard copies or soft, and share with each and every member so that before tomorrow.
The impeachment motion by Majority Leader King'ori Wambugu wants him out for alleged corruption and unethical practices through nepotism, influencing the tender to hire his vehicle to the assembly at an inflated cost, illegally paying himself 606,000 shillings in allowances, and appointing himself a signatory to bank accounts where colossal amounts of money were irregularly withdrawn.
We have we have passed or rather approved 3 businesses, one of them being giving the notice of motion of impeachment of one Dego Ahome.
Last month, the county assembly had impeached him, but the decision was overturned by the courts owing to failure by the county assembly to follow procedure. All right now we want to cross over to Jacqueline Wambiru for an update on what has been happening in the country. Today there was a presser by the government spokesperson, Colonel Cyrus Oguna, just to join us and tell us more about what is happening in the country. A very good afternoon, Wambiru. I understand there is progress with regards to the mitigation measures on the locust invasion in several counties. Kindly bring us up to speed with what the government has done so far and what plans lie ahead for the government.
Well, thank you so much, Serfine. We're joining you live from Telposta Towers in Nairobi, whereby earlier on the government spokesperson, Colonel Cyrus Oguna, addressed the members of the Fourth State, whereby one of the issues that were addressed was the rollout of the Huduma number distribution. Well, one of the things we understand is that in 2 weeks' time, the mass rollout of distribution of Huduma number will be taking place, and that is to the counties. But first, the focus is in Nairobi, and we are joined by the Colonel. Well, thank you, sir, for joining us, and he shall be shedding some light on this. So kindly address us and tell us maybe how many cards are ready, and how many people have been able to get their cards so far.
Thank you very much. Like you did mention that the process of issuance of Huduma number card has started, and like we have started with Nairobi, and it will go on until we get to all the counties. But for now it is Nairobi, and in about 2 weeks' time it will be rolled out to all the other 47 counties. In Nairobi, the cards are being issued in all the 11 sub-counties of Nairobi. And as of now, as government, we are producing enough cards to be able to ensure that by the end of the year, we will have been able to give all the those who are able to register during the phase 1 of Huduma card registration with Huduma number cards. So we have enough machinery, enough equipment to be able to produce enough copies of Huduma number cards to give to those who are who are registered in.
All right, that is Jackie Wambiru there speaking to the government spokesperson, Colonel Cyrus Oguna, talking about the rollout of the distribution of Huduma number cards, saying that that process is on course, and he was just shedding light on how far they have, gone with regards to that. And of course, he earlier addressed the issue of the locust invasion, talking about the second wave that he says has affected about 6 counties, including Kitui, Laikipia, Meru, and Kajiado. Kajiado. We'll be just getting a clear picture on what the government has done with regards to how they're going to mitigate this particular invasion as the day progresses. Now, we are going to be taking a short break right here on KBC Lunchtime News. Do stay with us. We are coming back with much more.
Malaria ni ugonjwa hatari sana unaoua watu wengi hapa Kenya. Japo kuko na korona, hatari ya malaria bado iko. Mtoto huyu alikuwa na joto jingi, kutetemeka, kuumwa na viungo na uchovu. Alikimbizwa hospitali ya Ouma ambako sheria za COVID-19 huzingatiwa na ni salama kwa shughuli ya upimaji. Vipimo vilionyesha kuwa ana malaria na papo hapo daktari akampa dawa za malaria na kumshauri azimalize, na ili kujikinga wawe wakilala ndani ya neti iliyotibiwa. Malaria husambazwa na mbu. Walio hatarini ni watoto wa chini ya miaka 5 na akina mama wajawazito. Kupimwa na kutibiwa ni bure katika hospitali zote za umma. Usisahau adui malaria. Zero malaria huanza na mimi. Chukua jukumu leo. Komesha malaria. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwenu na Wizara ya Afya.
Ili kupata skiza tune ya mapenzi ni jina tu kwa simu yako, bonyeza alama ya nyota 811 alama ya nyota 398 alama ya reli.
Mapenzi ni jina tu, lakini mtu anaweza kulipa maana. Inaweza kuwa mpenzi wako, jamaa, rafiki, mfanyikazi mwenzako, jirani. Unaweza kupata mapenzi kutoka kwa mtu yoyote. Chagua kueneza upendo na muhimu, jipe zaidi.
Ukitaka kupata skiza hii, bonyeza alama ya nyota 811 alama ya nyota 398 alama ya reli. Alama ya nyota 811 alama ya nyota 398 alama ya reli.
Make this Valentine's memorable with KBC Channel 1. We are rewarding you for sharing your love. Simply send a picture of your best moments while watching KBC, either alone or with your loved ones, and stand a chance to be rewarded with a shopping voucher worth 5,000 shillings. Send your pictures to our WhatsApp number 0771 316 959 and let us put a smile on your face this Valentine's. Winners will be announced during our live shows Angaza and Backyard. KBC Channel 1, sharing love, appreciating you. Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
I pray to God that he's in a good mood, very good mood.
Where could she be?
I've not come all this way to roam around the palace.
Who is right? You, of course.
Where is Kichak?
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Remember, you can continue interacting with us on social media at KBC Channel 1 and at Serfine_Achieng. Now, moving on, residents of Daikan in Githurai 45 are expressing concerns over their health after a sewer burst flooding the streets and their houses with raw sewage. The residents say for the past 3 days, the sewage has flooded their houses, destroying furniture and causing them sleepless nights. They are now demanding that the county government repairs the broken sewer line.
The residents of Deakin say that the sewage water has been flowing into their houses and the levels are rising by the day. Some of them have been forced to relocate as the sewage entered their houses, destroying furnitures.
Tulitengenezewa barabara hapa, baadaye wakatuharibia siwa yenye tulitengenezewa na Mchina. Sasa hii imefunga. Tuko na shida hapa yote kwa maboma, wamehama wote. Wako watoto hapa wamegonjeka ugonjwa mingi sana.
Roads connecting to the residential area are also flooded, putting the school-going children at risk of diseases, and the stench has made it unbearable to conduct any meaningful business.
Sewer line kuna mahali imeblock na alafu maji ikitoka pande ya juu ikipitia sewer line ina blockiwa pale.
Those not greatly affected say they use basins to prevent the sewage from getting into their houses.
Really unfortunate there. We hope that something will be done soon. Now, moving on to child rights crusaders are expressing concern over the rising number of child marriages in Turkana County. Speaking during a meeting to ventilate on the findings of a survey on violence against children in Lodwar, the County Children Services Coordinator Julius Yator said the issue was alarming and needed to be addressed urgently.
Speaking during a meeting whose focus was on the increasing violence of children in the region, the County Children's Services Coordinator, Julius Yator, said all members of society have a responsibility to stop the violence against children. Yator said as part of the strategy to spread the message to stop violence against children, they're working with border riders and had distributed 600 reflector jackets with messages to stop violence against children.
As a county, we are unique with the harmful cultural practice of early marriage or child marriage for that matter. So a lot of cases, we went through our CPIMS and we found out that there are a lot of cases that are not reported. So we need to work on this so that all cases that happen, we prevent, and those that have happened, we are able to respond.
According to Eunice Mura from the Department of Children's Services in Nairobi, the aim of the meeting was to empower stakeholders with an action plan on how they are going to implement the activities in the National Prevention Plan.
The campaign is called Spot It, Stop It. This is where we are supposed to immediately report any violence that we see, any violence that we've had, to those who are able to prevent, the Department of Children's Services, the police, and our various partners who are able to help us in preventing and responding to violence.
UNICEF representative Francis Kidake said the ongoing debate on whether to reintroduce caning of children in schools indicate the country has a long way to go in addressing violence against children. He added the indiscipline in schools that has seen many schools raised by students is a manifestation of deeper issues that can be handled without necessarily resulting to instilling physical pain in children. Caroline Kamar reporting for Channel 1 Lunchtime News.
And the Maasai community have been hailed for preserving their culture following a ceremony to mark the transition from childhood to adulthood held in Narok. The colorful ceremony saw the Olemiliso age group initiated into adulthood.
These were the sights and sounds during the ceremony that was marked by the movement of the Inje from Olokru to Manyata to Roshan Manyata. In Roshan Manyata, Olemiliso age group Injets will stay for 2 months where they will be trained on how to have families and how to handle domestic issues and also on how to maintain their culture.
To our young men, to go and be men of the society. I advise them to be equally disciplined and not petty to go and pick 50 shillings and just some other things which are not right for us.
Leaders who attended the event pledged support to those who still value and maintain their culture as it instills discipline to the young members of the society. They also thanked President Uhuru Kenyatta for allowing them to have the event amid the COVID-19 period following uneasy restrictions.
The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers is demanding the arrest of politicians who they say are behind a school unrest in Bungoma County. KUPPET Secretary Augustine Luketero Kundu is accusing a section of politicians of inciting parents and students to revolt against school principals who are not from the region.
371 principals attended a meeting chaired by the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers following an increase in school unrest in Bungoma County. It is at this meeting that it emerged the unrest was mainly triggered by a push to have principals outside the region removed. Kuppet Secretary Augustine Luketero Kundu raised concerns that police are yet to take action against politicians who allegedly incited parents and students to oppose appointment of principals who were not locals.
Local politics in Bungoma, particularly from our members of parliament and MCS, many of them are inciting students as well as the parents and teachers to lead this strike. Recently, we heard over the radio whereby one of our members of parliament was demanding for some of the principals to be sent away from this Bungoma County.
Samuel Kimiti, Bungoma County Commissioner, cautioned stakeholders that teachers shouldn't face any discrimination. He further urged politicians to refrain from interfering with school operations.
Politicians are good. They are also our leaders. But tunawaambia, please, you are our leaders, but don't bring politics in school. There is a policy which governs education.
County Quality Assurance Officers Evans Omondi urged principals to fence the schools to hinder communication from unruly students who are capable of triggering further damage to neighboring schools.
And we need to do something about fencing in our schools. Some of our schools are so open that what the students were doing is that as they were passing in motorcycles, then they see the students in the field there. Then now they ask them, you mean you are still in school? And then they demonstrate to them.
Elsewhere, 2 people have sustained injuries and property of unknown value destroyed in a fire incident in Mwangaza area in the outskirts of Isiolo town. Locals say the fire brigade responded in good time but were unable to access the area due to the dilapidated access roads.
This is what is left of a house after it was razed down by a vicious inferno.
Hii moto hatukuweza kuzima. Moto ilitushinda nguvu, ikaendelea mpaka ikachoma nyumba yote, na alikuweko mwanaume mmoja.
Locals say a lot could have been saved, but efforts to rescue lost property were hampered by bad roads.
Hata msipoulizwa ya kwamba angalieni njia, muone barabara, wakati hata wenye kukuja kuleta huduma mahali hapa waliwacha ngare about kilomita 1 ama 2.
Na wakati tulipiga simu kwa zimamoto, wali respond immediately, but ile response yao haikuwa nini sana juu hatuna barabara. Waliniuliza tunakuja tupite wapi.
2 people sustained serious injuries and are currently receiving treatment. The residents are calling on the county government to repair damaged roads to ensure quick response to emergencies and ease movement in the region.
Tafadhali, sisi tunaomba tu usaidizi kwa sababu sisi hatuna barabara, hatuna anything. Kwa sababu hata mtu akigonjeka tunabeba na mgongo tunapeleka mpaka kwa lami. Sisi area hii ni kama tuko reserve na sisi tuko town.
Nauliza bwana governor kwa heshima kubwa sana, sisi tupate barabara maana ni haki yetu.
And in Nakuru, oncologists in the county are petitioning county governments to set up cancer screening and testing centers across major health facilities. The oncologists say this will play a key role in early detection of the disease that has become a burden to many Kenyans.
Speaking at Alexandria Cancer Center, oncologist Dr. Elias Meli noted that there needs to be to recruit more specialists in the facilities to address the current shortage.
We have to make sure that the regulatory bodies are able to, through KEBS and even Pharmacy and Poisons Board, ensure that the agents that we are using to treat our patients, as doctors, we don't have much control over that. But we know that sometimes we have drugs which its quality is not up to the standard. We are besieging and urging that we make sure that the agents that we use to treat our patients are up to standard quality-wise. So
Meli further added that the government needs to enhance cancer care in the nation by ensuring that there is comprehensive health coverage for patients.
We are able to assure them that with all factors held constant, getting this treatment, you're likely to be cured. It's been a challenge sometimes to deal with recurrences, and it's heartbreaking when a patient knows that had been promised that I'm likely to be treated with curative intention, and unfortunately 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line.
Cancer is one of the leading causes of high mortality rate in the world. For Channel 1 News, I'm Jacqueline Masharia.
Allow us to take another break right here on KBC Lunchtime News. We are coming back with much more still ahead news concerning the business world and matter sports still ahead for you. Stay with us, continue engaging us on social media. We'll be sampling your views when we come back.
Nakwambia 2021 ni vitu noma na QuickBid. Siku ya leo tunakupea Hisense TV.
Oh yes, na ni rahisi sana. Unaenda kwenye lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number ni 4032353. 4032353. Kwenye account ekelea TV kama code kisha nambari unapenda, alafu amount ni 20 bob.
Peke yake. Alafu kumbuka utakelea pin yako. Hivyo ndivyo utakuwa umekelea bid kwenye quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka ni bidhaa bora kwenye bei ya
chini kwa chini.
Chini kwa chini.
Jiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bid yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16, kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bid yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bid ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio ununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. I'd like to appreciate Edwina, your team. Thank you so much. Alex Juma, you're watching us from industrial area right here in Nairobi. Christina Melissa, you're watching us live. Thank you. Thomas Mutunga Muinde, you're saying you're watching us from NYS. We appreciate you also. Kemboi Felix, you're watching us from Tarbo. Uasin Gishu County, you say Nikondani. We appreciate your time. Now we cross over to what has been trending in the world of business. Over 200 households in Lagarian in Busia County are set to benefit from a modern poultry farm project funded by the World Bank. The move is expected to support farming poultry commercialization amid declining soil fertility and extreme weather patterns in the region that hamper crop production.
Stay for the economy of Busia County, accounting for 78% of the labor force and contributes approximately 50% to household incomes. However, Busia County continues to suffer low agricultural productivity due to declining soil fertility and extreme climate events, mostly drought and floods.
Ndio maana tukafikiria kwa nini tusiweke hao huku pamoja, ambapo hii wakapa tunaita dairy, tunaita poultry park, waweke pamoja tuwakuze kwa niaba ya jamii, ambapo kwa hii program peke yake tutakuwa na over 10,000.
The Poultry Park project, deemed as boost to the poultry commercialization project that had been conceived years back to counter shortage of improved day-old chicks and high-quality fertile eggs and poultry diseases, which resulted in high mortality rate of chicken.
Project is going to benefit the community
kwa njia nyingi. Moja, in terms of employment. Two, you will get skills.
Residents have been urged to venture into poultry farming as a source of livelihood.
Union has extended a ban on Nigeria's beans entering zone till 2022. The Nigerian government had assured the European Union Commission that in 2018 that it will develop and implement a food safety action plan, but have fallen short in their action plan. Details of this and other stories from the African continent.
Since 2018, Nigeria does not have a food safety action plan. The objective of the food safety action plan is to control and streamline, in particularly dried beans, strengthen the legal and regulatory environment, and build fundamentals for quality production of the legume. This has forced the EU Commission to extend its ban on importation of the country's dried beans into European markets till 2022 to allow Nigeria ample time to develop and implement a food safety plan. And drinks in South Africa may cheer the government's decision to lift the latest ban on alcohol sales, but the wine sector fears the move has come too late to save thousands of jobs. The sector has so far lost more than $530 million in direct sales, threatening the livelihoods of 27,000 people. The country is awash with more than 300 million litres of surplus wine at a time when workers are already in the fields to pick the current harvest. Finally, tea production is expected to rise by over 40% in 2020-2021 season in Tanzania, owing to favourable weather patterns. The Tea Board of Tanzania says that last season, that is 2019-2020, that they managed to collect 28 million kgs, which was 20% short of projections due to poor weather. TTB added that the plan was to harvest 60 million kgs in 2024-2025, and this season expectations drives home the board's ambition.
And also across the globe, the social messaging platform Twitter revenues grew by 28% to $1.29 billion for the last quarter of the year 2020, while monetizable daily active users grew by 5 million from the third quarter to 192 million, attributed to, among others, major world occurrences like the US elections. Details of this and other stories from across the globe next.
Twitter posted record revenues for the last quarter of 2020, capping off what its chief executive said was an extraordinary year for the platform. The social messaging platform said revenue grew 28% to $1.29 billion compared to the last quarter of 2019. Twitter's total monetizable daily active users grew by 5 million from the third quarter to 192 million. While this was up 26% compared to a year ago, it fell below analysts' expectations of 193.5 million. The company warned that its total cost and expenses would rise at least 25% this year as it plans to raise headcount by 20%. It ended 2020 with more than 5,500 employees, access to buyers and sellers. And shares in Toyota, the world's biggest automaker by vehicle sales, closed up 1.7% after hitting their highest level since July 2015. But the maker of the RAV4 SUV crossover and Prius hybrid said it expects to sell 9.73 million vehicles this year, up 3.3% from a previous forecast of 9.42 million, yet still down from last year's 10.46 million. Toyota operating profit rose to $94.4 million, $8.4 million in the 3 months ended December 31st versus an average $5.4 billion profit. Finally, Apple Inc. has a clear opportunity to offer a buying and selling mechanism for cryptocurrencies, a move that would allow the company to immediately gain market share. With its access to world-class software and secure ecosystem, Apple could tackle the problem individuals face acquiring crypto assets due to Know Your Customer laws and other regulations, with the company offering a closed system that prevents nefarious activity.
Now let me bring you back home. Private sector players and fiscal experts are calling for harmonization of tax policies to lower the cost of doing business that is currently eating into Kenya's attractiveness as a business hub. This comes in the wake of government's plan to widen the tax base to fund development projects with more than 900 billion shillings deficit.
We need to look at a bigger range of companies. Either this tax needs to be reduced or reduced significantly, or to look at it and say, because the government's argument has been some companies have not been paying taxes, they declare losses every year. So saying maybe look at it, if a company has declared losses for maybe 4 years consecutively, then maybe in the 5th year you can mandate that this minimum tax comes into effect.
Now, the United States has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening its bilateral defense partnership with Kenya. Speaking aboard the Herschel Woody Williams naval ship in Mombasa, Rear Admiral Jeff Spivey said Kenya remains a trusted security partner owing to its immense contribution to the global peace and stability. The United States naval ship Herschel Woody Williams docked in Mombasa on Monday, and of course this is coming on a mission to enhance defense partnership between Kenya and the USA.
The highly sophisticated military artillery sea vessel Woodley Williams is the first U.S. naval ship to be deployed to the Kenyan coast in over a decade. The U.S. military says it is keen on building a lasting defense partnership with Kenya.
Kenya is a strategic partner. Kenya is a priority to the United States and will remain an integral part of a successful U.S.-African policy and an alliance. It's imperative that we build on today's success and identify opportunities and continue to build on the strong defense partnership to create a prosperous economic and security environment. And we intend to do that through visits like this to bring more ships back to the port of Mombasa, to partner with Kenya, and to partner with our diplomatic corps in Nairobi.
Admiral Jeff Spivey spoke aboard the vessel, where he was accompanied by Defense Cabinet Secretary Monica Juma, Mombasa County Governor Ali Hassan Joho, and the Coast Guard Director General Vincent Naisho.
We look forward to working with the Kenyan Navy on future exercises such as Cutlass Express. Cutlass Express is a partnership-building evolution where we will look to improve our maritime domain awareness in conjunction with our regional maritime operations centers, so that we can share information, so we can share ideas, and so we can communicate on the command and control, and for the operators, and to build capacities within the Kenyan Navy and the Kenyan Coast Guard.
The U.S. Navy and her Kenyan counterparts have planned out a raft of engagements which shall entail joint training.
Following this visit, we have additional visits with the Marines for an evaluation in the next few weeks. In addition to that, we have a maritime domain awareness evaluation team traveling to Kenya to work in partnership with this area. In addition to our Army, which are participating with and training with Marines, and finally concluding this summer with Cutlass Express, which will be the partnership developing tool that we talked about, and we will continue to build that through an international maritime exercise 6 to 8 months later. So our intent, following Commander's guidance, is to continue to work with you, to build with you, to partner with you, and to develop an enduring partnership that we intend to sustain.
The high-tech surveillance systems used on the ship enables operations such as counter-piracy operations, disaster relief operations, and crisis response operations aimed at boosting maritime security. For Channel 1 Lunchtime News from Mombasa County, I am Ann Mburu.
Thank you, Anne, for that report. Now, the U.S. Senate has found that the impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump is constitutional, allowing full proceedings to begin. Trump's defense team argued that he could not face trial after leaving the White House. However, a 56-44 majority voted in favor of continuing, with a handful of Republicans backing the measure. Trump is accused of inciting insurrection when Congress was stormed last month.
Democrats prosecuting the case opened Tuesday's proceedings by showing a dramatic video montage of Trump's 6th January speech and the deadly rioting by some of his supporters. Lawyers for the former president argued it was unconstitutional to put a former president through the process at all and accused Democrats of being politically motivated. The 56-44 split means 6 Republicans joined Democrats in voting to go ahead with the trial. Although this shows some bipartisanship, this result implies loyalty towards the former president in his party remains high enough to avoid a conviction. A 2/3 majority is required to convict Trump in the evenly split 100-seat Senate. Meanwhile, protesters in Myanmar have taken to the streets in the country's major cities for the 4th day in succession. The demonstrators are calling for power to be restored to the deposed civilian government and freedom for the country's leader, San Suu Kyi, and her allies.